Hello and welcome to this presentation on geometric dimensioning and tolerancing, popularly known as GD&T. This is Dr. A. Raghunath from Aditi Consultancy Services. GD&T is a graphical language used by the designers in creation of the part drawings in any product design and development work. GD&T is a vast subject. In this presentation, I try to give a brief introduction to some of the basic aspects of this subject. Any engineering part drawing is basically a graphical language used for communication by all the technical people concerned with product design and development. Then what is special about GD&T? If you ask me, I would say there are two important aspects of it. One is it is an international language, and the other one is it is used to accurately describe a part in engineering drawings. In one sentence, if I have to say how GD&T is beneficial in creation of engineering part drawings, I would say it is an exact language that enables designers to say what they mean through a drawing. Let us try to understand what is the meaning of geometrical error in a part. I have taken a simple prismatic part like this. This part in the model will have three linear dimensions: length of the part, width and thickness of the part. Let's say length is supposed to be 50 mm and width is 30 mm and height is supposed to be 40 mm. Now if you take a manufactured part, the part will look like this. Now there are deviations in the manufactured part. What are the deviations? The three linear dimensions will not be exactly equal to 50, 30, 40 in the part. Means if you take a measuring device and measure the distance between these two surfaces, say you make 10 measurements, all 10 measurements will not be equal to 40. A few may be equal to 40, but some will be more than 40, some will be less than 40. Means that is the dimension is varying compared to the model. Same will happen in case of 50 mm also and 30 mm also. Not only these three linear dimensions vary in the part, now you see the shape of the part. The manufactured part is varying with respect to the model as far as shape is concerned also. Now, what are the shape requirements? There are 6 planar surfaces. All the surfaces should be flat, but none of the surfaces in the manufactured part will be perfectly flat. There will be deviations. And then if you take any two opposing surfaces in the model, they should be parallel to each other. There are 3 sets of parallel surfaces. Now in the part, if you measure the parallelism between two opposing surfaces, there will be error. Apart from that, in the model you take any surface, there are 4 adjacent surfaces which are supposed to be perpendicular with respect to that surface. Now if you take the part and measure the perpendicularity between any adjacent surfaces, that angle is supposed to be 90 degree, but it will not be there. There will be deviations. So these deviations, like flatness of individual surfaces, parallelism between two opposing surfaces and perpendicularity between two adjacent surfaces, are called geometrical errors. Depending on the functionality of this part, you will have to control these errors. Let me take a cylindrical part like this. In the model, there will be 2 dimensions. One is diameter, other one is length. Now let us consider the variation in diameter of this part. If the nominal value of the diameter is 20 mm and the applicable tolerances are plus or minus 0.5, then in the manufactured part the measured values should be within the two limits. of 19.5 minimum and 20.5 mm maximum. If that is the case, you may end up with parts like this. Now, if you take any of these parts and measure the diameter will be within the two acceptable limits. But how about the shape of the part? Shape of the part is not cylindrical. Now, if you say this much shape variation is not allowed, then you should say how much is the allowable error. If you say that can be only 0.1 mm, then that should be specified in the drawing. Now, if you specify 0.1 mm cylindricity tolerance apart from diameter tolerance, that will control the shape variation of the part. Cylindricity will also control the straightness of surface, straightness of axis, and circularity at any given cross section, etc. If you consider varieties of parts like this with different types of features, then depending on the functionality of the parts, you can specify circular runout, total runout, position of axis of hole with respect to two side surfaces, position of a pattern of features, and then concentricity between two axes, and then symmetricity between two midplanes, profile of a surface, profile of a line, etc. So this is a drawing with geometrical tolerances shown to a number of features. You see here flatness is shown to this end face, perpendicularity of axis of this hole is shown, then parallelism between these two surfaces is shown, then circular run node for this 20 mm hole is shown, and then circular run node for this 36 mm diameter is shown. Then positioning of axis of these four holes is shown. It is a simple part, but with a complex part, you may come across so many geometrical tolerances shown for different features based on the functionality of the features. Using GD&T, you can control totally 6 types of features. Part features can be broadly classified into two categories: surfaces and features of size. Under surfaces, we have three types: planar, circular, and irregular. Features of size means they are imaginary features. They are axis, midplane, and center point. They are imaginary, but still we can control them. So totally we can control 6 types of features in any part. There are 14 geometrical tolerances included under 5 categories. Under form category, straightness, flatness, circularity and cylindricity are there. Under profile, profile of a line and profile of a surface. Under orientation, parallelism, perpendicularity and angularity are there. Under runout, circular runout and total runout. Under location, I have shown position tolerance here, but there are two more tolerances: concentricity and symmetry. These two have been removed as per the latest version of ASME Y14.5, that is 2018 version. But as per 2009 and 1994 versions of ASME Y14.5 standard and also ISO standards, they are still there. Let us see what is a feature control frame. A feature control frame is a boxed structure like this, used for showing a geometrical tolerance in a drawing. Now, let us see the sequencing of filling details in a feature control frame. In the first box, any one of the 14 geometrical characteristic symbols will come. So here position is shown. In the second box, there will be a numerical value. That numerical value is nothing but the stated tolerance. Now, the unit of the tolerance can be only mm or inch. This numerical value may have a diameter symbol in certain cases. This diameter symbol will come only when an axis is being controlled. In case of surface and mid plane, the diameter symbol will not be there. After the numerical value, in certain cases, you may come across a symbol like this. These are all called modifiers. And then there are three boxes. These three boxes are used for placing the datums. First one is called primary datum, second one is called secondary datum, and the last one is called tertiary datum. So they are called primary, secondary and tertiary based on their placement in the feature control frame, not by the alphabetical order. Let us try to go through all the 14 geometrical tolerances to understand their meaning in a simple way. Let us try to understand what is the meaning of flatness of a planar surface. Now let me take an application as far as assembly is concerned. There are two parts assembled like this. Means part 2 will sit over part 1 and there should be good contact between the two parts at this interface. Now what is good contact? Gap between the two surfaces should be 0. It will be there in the model, but in the actual assembly that gap will not be 0. Now why the gap will not be 0? Let us see. Let us see the effect of geometrical errors in part 1. Now part 1, if you have designed like this, where thickness of this part is decided by two limits, let us say 40.2 minimum and 40.6 maximum. Manufacturing process will be such that the thickness should be between these two limits only, that's all. Now what is the effect of this? The measured part will have dimension between the two limits, and now because of the irregularities of the top surface, the gap between the two parts will not be 0. It can go up to 0.4 because the size tolerance is 0.4. Gap between the two surfaces also can go up to 0.4 in certain cases. But suppose we say we want this gap between the two parts because of error in the bottom part should be limited only to 0.1 mm, not more than that. Keeping the size tolerance still between the two limits 40.2 and 40.6, then how do you design the part? Now your design of this part should be like this. Now you are specifying, apart from the size tolerance, a flatness tolerance like this, where this flatness tells the top surface should not have flatness error more than 0.1 mm. Minimum can be 0, maximum should be 0.1 mm. What is the meaning of this? Thickness you have to check like in the previous case only, and this should be within two limits. Apart from that, you also have to check the flatness of the top surface. Now there are different ways of checking flatness, but let us take one way of checking flatness. Let's say you use CMA, coordinate measuring machine, where you can extract coordinates of all these points on the top surface. Now if a surface is flat, all these points will have to be in one plane. If it is not flat, all these points will be dispersed. You can enclose all the dispersed points on the top surface between two parallel planes having minimum possible distance between them and measure the distance between the planes. Now this is the flatness error. As per the drawing, the allowable error is 0.1 mm. 0 is the best possible error. 0.1 mm is the worst allowable error. That is how you will check the flatness of a surface. Now let us try to understand what is cylindricity. Cylindricity is shown like this. Meaning of this cylindricity tolerance is, model will look like this, but the actual part with exaggerated error will look like this. Now if I take points on this surface, and if I know the coordinates of all these points, I can measure the cylindricity error means how much this part is deviating shape wise with respect to the model. All those points, if I can enclose between two concentric cylinders like this and measure the radial distance between these two concentric cylinders, that is what is cylindricity error. Now if you say cylindricity error should be 0.1 mm, meaning is what? All the points on the surface should be enclosable between two concentric cylinders. The radial distance between the two in the best case can be 0, in the worst case can be maximum of 0.1 mm. That's what you mean by cylindricity. Now, if you say a part is perfectly cylindrical, what are the things you are controlling under cylindricity? Let us try to understand. Now, if a part is perfectly cylindrical, if you derive the axis of this cylinder, that should be a straight line. Now, if you take number of lines on the surfaces of the cylinder, all these lines should be perfect straight lines. If you measure circularity at any cross section, at all the cross section the error should be 0. And then if you measure diameter of the cylinder at different locations, all values should be same, means there should not be any variation in diameter. So when you say a part is perfectly cylindrical, basically you are trying to control all these errors. Now if you want individually any one of these errors you want to control, like straightness of axis, straightness of surface, or circularity at any given cross section, these three are geometrical errors. So you can control these three errors individually in a part based on the functionality. Let me try to explain what is straightness of surface of a cylinder. Now when you show straightness of surface like this, which is supposed to be 0.1 mm maximum error, meaning is this. On the surface of a cylinder you can derive number of lines, and each of these lines is supposed to be straight. What do you mean by that? Now if I take some points on a particular line, now all those points should be on a straight line. If they are not on a straight line, if I enclose them between two parallel lines and measure the distance between those two lines, that error should not be more than 0.1 mm. In the best case it can be 0, in the worst case it is 0.1 mm. That's what you mean by straightness of a surface of a cylinder. It is not applicable to one particular line. You can take any line, any randomly selected line or any number of lines, and you check. For all the lines, error should not be more than 0.1 mm. That's what you mean by straightness of surface of a cylinder. Now, when you show straightness like this with a diameter symbol placed below the dimension value, you are not controlling straightness of surface, but you are controlling straightness of axis, means this line. This axis is an imaginary line. It is derived from the points on the surface, but this axis is supposed to be straight within a cylindrical tolerance zone. 0.1 mm means what? That derived straight line which is supposed to be straight, you should, if it is not straight, you should be able to enclose it inside a cylindrical tolerance zone of 0.1 mm. That is what is the meaning of straightness of axis. The functionality in this case will be different compared to straightness of surface. Let us see what is the relation between these two straightness tolerances. Let us take a cylinder. For the cylinder, axis is supposed to be straight and surface is supposed to be straight, but there will be error in both the parameters. Now depending on the tolerance you have specified for the diameter, let us take again 20 plus or minus 0.5. Let us say no straightness of axis and no straightness of surface is specified. How the part will be? Now if the diameter is varying between the two limits, 19.5 to 20.5, you may end up with a part like this. Now if you see the surface, it is not straight, but still the derived axis may be a perfect straight one. This is a part where axis is straight but surface is not straight. Similarly, it could be like this. It could be, in the first case it is a convex part, in the second case it is a concave part. Still, axis is straight but surface is not straight. Now if you take another part, it could be like this. Both axis and surface may not be straight. Means for a part, straightness of axis and straightness of surface are two different errors which can be measured independently. Now the functionality of straightness of axis is different, functionality of straightness of surface will be different. Now let us see what is circularity. Circularity by definition is all the points on the surface should be at equal distance from the center at any given cross section. Now the center, how do you derive for a circle? If you take two opposing points, if you know the distance between these 2 points and if you derive the midpoint, that is the center for a perfect circular cross section. Now if you draw any number of lines joining that center to any point on the profile, all the lines will have equal value, means all radii will have equal value. But in a physically produced part, this will not be the case. First of all, this center is an imaginary point that you cannot derive for an irregular part, and you can't draw a radii like this to check the circularity. So how do you check circularity? If this is what is the profile you are looking as far as a surface is concerned. Now if this is the actual part surface, now what I do is I enclose this surface profile between two concentric circles and measure the radial distance between these two circles. Now that is circularity error. Now if you specify circularity error allowable 0.02, the meaning is what? At any cross section, any randomly selected cross section, if you take number of points on the surface and enclose them between two concentric circles and measure the radial distance between these two circles, that error should not be more than 0.02 mm. In the best case, that error can be 0, but the maximum allowable error is 0.02 mm. That is what is circularity. Let us see what is datum now. A datum symbol looks like this. Now when a symbol like this is associated with a feature, it is called a datum, means it is a master or a reference feature. With respect to that feature, other features of the part will get controlled. This letter A is the name of the datum. Now the name of the datum can be any letter from A to Z excluding I, O, Q. Now if you have to create more number of datums and if you have exhausted all these individual letters, then you can go for combination of letters like this A, B, etc. Now what all can be datum features? Let us see. Functional datum features can be a planar surface, an axis, or a mid-plane. Point also can be a functional datum but rarely used, but circular surface and irregular surfaces will not be used as functional datums. Let us use this datum for controlling orientation, location, runout, profile, etc. Let us see what is parallelism. In the sketch shown here, datum symbol is attached to the bottom surface and parallelism feature control frame is shown to the top surface. Now the meaning of this is that the top surface should be parallel to the bottom surface within 0.1 mm. The parallelism tolerance zone is limited by two parallel planes specified distance apart and always parallel to the datum. As in the previous case where we discussed about flatness, here also size tolerance is given and that is same as 0.4 mm. Now what is the difference between flatness and parallelism? In case of flatness also, the tolerance zone is two parallel planes and that also is supposed to be within the size tolerance zone. Now this tolerance zone is a floating tolerance zone within the size tolerance. It can float up and down, and also it can get inclined as far as flatness is concerned. But as far as parallelism is concerned, there is a datum, and this tolerance zone is always supposed to be parallel to the datum. So parallelism tolerance zone floats within the size tolerance zone, but it cannot get inclined with respect to datum A. So that is the difference between flatness and parallelism tolerance zone. There are two different functionalities. Now when the surface lies within these two parallel planes, what is the meaning? Flatness of the surface also is controlled within parallelism tolerance zone. Let us see now what is perpendicularity. In the sketch, the thickness nominal value is 25 and it can vary by plus or minus 0.2. The meaning of this is, when this thickness is measured, it is supposed to lie within two limits, 24.8 minimum and 25.2 maximum. Now what is the effect of this? Let us try to understand. When the thickness varies, if the variation is by maximum of 0.4, this surface, which is supposed to be at 90 degree to the bottom surface, can get inclined by more than 90 degree. By how much? Whatever this 0.4 will allow. Or in the other case, it can be like this. This surface may be inclined in the other direction, and now this angle may be less than 90 degree. By how much? How much this 0.4 will allow. Means the angle between these two surfaces is supposed to be 90 degree, but that implied information is now getting controlled by this 0.4 mm size tolerance. Now if I don't want to allow this much error, the perpendicularity between these two surfaces, and I still want to allow thickness wise 0.4 mm, then I will try to specify a perpendicularity tolerance zone like this. Meaning of this is, the bottom surface is a datum, means the pot will get mounted on this surface. This vertical surface is supposed to be at 90 degree to the bottom surface. If that 90 degree varies, it can vary only within 0.08 mm. Means the perpendicularity tolerance zone is limited by two parallel planes specified distance apart and perpendicular to the datum. This 0.08 mm is a floating tolerance zone, but it will control the inclination of this vertical surface with respect to bottom surface within 0.08 mm. So that way now also the angle will vary to a lesser value controlled by this perpendicularity tolerance zone. Now when the surface lies within these two parallel planes, what is the meaning? Flatness of the surface also is controlled within 0.08. Let us see what is angularity. Now angularity tolerance is shown like this. This also has a datum. With respect to the datum, the surface is supposed to be at a given angle. That angle is shown like this. It is placed inside a box without any tolerance. So this is called a basic dimension. Now this meaning of the 0.08 mm means what? We will try to understand this. Before that, let us see what is the meaning of angle tolerance shown directly in terms of degrees or minutes. When you say this is 30 degree, and this 30 degree can vary by plus or minus 2 degrees. Meaning of this is, this surface supposed to be inclined at 30 degree. If there is variation in that angle, that can be minimum 28 degree and maximum 32 degree. You see here, this angle is now measured with respect to this vertex. Now as this distance between these two surfaces increases, this tolerance zone also will keep on getting widened. Angle is checked using a bevel protractor. If the part is placed between two surfaces, what is the angle between the two surfaces can be directly measured using the reading of this device. Now there is a catch here. If the angle variation can be say 1 degree, 2 degree, etc., you can measure using bevel protractor. But when the allowable variation in the angle becomes very small value, then you cannot measure using bevel protractor, because the least count of the bevel protractor is only 5 minutes. So very small variation in angle, if you want to control in terms of few minutes, then tolerance on angle cannot be directly specified. That is where angularity will come into picture. Now, when I want the two surfaces in assembly to be like this, and I want the contact between the two surfaces should be good, for that I want this angle to be controlled exactly, then the variation in the angle may have to be very small depending on how much gap you can allow between these two surfaces. If that variation is a very small value, say 80 microns, 50 microns, 10 microns, etc., then you can't control this angle using degrees or minutes. You will have to go for angularity tolerance like this. This variation 0.08 mm, when you convert in terms of minutes, it may be very small value, but this can be measured because it is in mm or inch. The meaning here is the tolerance zone is made of two parallel planes specified distance apart, inclined to that datum exactly equal to this basic value. This distance between these two planes is a fixed value. It does not depend on the dimension of this part. How do you check angularity? For that you need a master whose angle is exactly equal to the given basic angle. Keep that master on a horizontal surface plate, and on the master keep the part which is supposed to be checked. Now this surface is supposed to be parallel to the surface plate. Now check whether the surface is parallel or not. If the surface is not parallel, that means the angle between these two surfaces is not 30 degree, it is more than 30 degree, or it could be less than 30 degree, or there can be flatness error. Whatever may be the case, if the parallelism between these two surfaces is within the angularity tolerance specified in the drawing, part is acceptable to me. Thanks for watching this video. This video is the first part of this presentation. Please watch the video of the second part also. Please visit our website to know about our training programs. Thanks again.